Hi Virgo, welcome to Wednesday, welcome to your reading. I hope everyone is doing beautifully. I hope summer's been good to you. Before we get into it, should we take a deep breath in? Like a really yummy, nourishing one. Let's go, 1, 2, 3. Let all of it go. Virgo, book a reading, rubyreadstarot.com. Check out the list of services available there. There is Venus, the planet of finances and love, moving into the sign of into the sign of Leo as of the 11th of July. Now, Virgo, automatically this is going to get you to want to bring your energy, your attention, your focus back to your solar plexus. And so you see there is a lot more energy and attention that you're paying to your appearance, your outward appearance. There is a lot more importance you're giving to yourself and who you are in this world. There is also more of an aggression towards pursuing and hunting your finances. And I think that if you are really hungry for it, you're going in for the kill. And I think, Virgo, with Mars, the planet of strategy and war, moving into fellow mercurial sign of Gemini, this is a time that you really get to intellectualize your win. And as the sun moves closer into the sign of Leo, I think you'll find that as we're nearing your sign, your confidence is getting a lot better. But I feel like your belief in yourself is really beginning to show in quite an admirable way. There is a full moon in the sign of Capricorn on the 21st of July. And this is closing out this sandwich of Capricornian full moon energy, which has really been about you getting your head down to a practical plan to get to the top of the mountain, as is your nature. First card out, Virgo, that's the Knight of Cups. There is someone that you're going to find has a really significant emotional offer that they would like to bring you. I feel like this offer is something that has a lot of ground and covers a lot of bases. This offer is something of an emotional nature, so it may play on your heartstrings, but it is one of those moments, Virgo, where you will find that there is somebody here offering you a cup of love, a gesture of love and affection, solely because they know who and what you are, what you're capable of, what you can achieve, where you're going, and what it is that is so special about you. So when I say to you that Venus moving into the sign of Leo is going to be really good for your ego, and ego is really necessary, because without ego we're just lost souls wandering this earth. And there's plenty of those. Don't be one of those. Virgo, you being able to think quite clearly during this time and having the energy and the incentive to make the practical, pragmatic moves that you need to, all the while really beginning to be able to communicate a lot easier as Mercury moves into the sign of Virgo as of the 25th. I'm going to take those. And I'm glad I did. Okay, right off the bat. That is the Wheel of Fortune. The Knight of Pentacles. Virgo, you have options, baby. That's the 7 of Wands. The 4 of Cups. And the 5 of Pentacles. And underneath that was the World card. So I'm going to put the Wheel of Fortune and the World card together, because Virgo, I do feel like this is a bit of one of those periods in time. It's like a saline flush. Like Cancer season is that let's flush out what was foggy, unclear, misty, uncertain, bottom of the deck, Ace of Cups. So I'm going to leave that there, because that's what I do think this season is about for you. It's about you filling up your cup, Virgo. And I feel like the astrology is setting you up in such a way that it is bringing forward the assistance and the emotional things that you may have felt like you really needed. You know that there's no going back to certain cycles. There are certain chapters that have closed for you, and the inevitable, where one door closes, another one opens. And I think you're quite ready for these new doors to open up to you, Virgo. So when I say to you that there really is a new beginning, I think I'd pay a lot of heed and attention to that. You know that there are certain cycles that need closing up, and with certain closing up of chapters, it's almost like cleaning up, compartmentalizing, and putting away what you know is going to save up a lot more space in your heart, in your brain, in your mind. And actually, I think taking the time to appreciate now that this is a new cycle, it's a new story, it's a new chapter, and it's probably time to put an end to some of the old stories. Make your peace with them. Use this Capricorn full moon to really acknowledge the end of a certain cycle of struggle, I would say, and maybe step forward now as Venus is supporting you, supporting your ego, supporting your incentive to do things, your motive, your inspiration even. Before certain cycles close out, Virgo, it's probably a good idea for you to acknowledge what you've just come through. And I think, Virgo, paying attention to the fact that it hasn't been easy, it's been quite a life-altering struggle. It's been something that may have taken its toll. It may have been something that nearly put you on your back. Funny thing about being mutable Earth, you keep changing, you keep shifting, you keep molding, you keep transforming, you keep on going. And that's really, really powerful. So even though you may have found yourself thrown off your game a little bit, feeling a little bit fumbled, or maybe even having this frazzled energy about you, all of the people that you didn't expect to turn against you turning against you, and those that were never really there to let you progress and prosper, you, Virgo, might find that there is the opportunity for a level up, moving to the next chapter, moving to the next part of the story. If you are willing to take your focus off of what your 3D is currently showing you, because ultimately those are expired thoughts that have transpired into this holographic experience. So basically, the more willing and committed you are to knowing that you don't stop and there is nothing that you can't overcome, and those that may have thought that they were going to put you on your back ultimately ended up beneath you anyway. Also, your energy really is flowing where your attention is going. So if you're really focused on all the shit, then expect more of it. I mean, a negative mind never gave a positive life. So it really is time, I think, for you to see where it is that you're done with the martyr syndrome, and where you may have had this pauper mentality about you, and how that really didn't get you anywhere. The support that you need, practical, emotional, is there. And I would use this season as a bit of a saline flush. And the thing with the flush is that it is always a lot of a shock to the system, right? So here you are clearing out the contents of that vessel, which is your emotional contentment. It is your spirit. A much needed cleanse had to happen, and I wouldn't begrudge it. If anything, I would use this season to acknowledge what you've been through, but know now you can't perpetuate it. The door is opening for you, Virgo. Step through. Close the doors to the past. There's nothing that you can salvage from that. Because once the door is open, it's an opportunity that's being presented to you. And when you decide to walk through those doors, a shift happens. And so here you are, at the doorstep, at the precipice of a really fortunate shift, where the help and the emotional, I think, gestures really are something to be celebrated. And Virgo, if you want, you can step forward with a lot of confidence and a lot of lust for your life, and a reawakened sense of purpose. Reawakened sense of purpose. Use this time, Virgo, to dedicate yourself. Use this time to commit yourself. Use this period in particular, as the sun is building up to your sign and strengthening you and strengthening your abilities. I would say focus wholeheartedly on that brings you prosperity. Focus wholeheartedly to that which gives you purpose. Focus with an attention to detail that only Virgo has, really, to what you know you can grow. The expression of your individuality, your identity, who you are. This period is a time for you to get dedicated and familiar with your craft and apply yourself wholeheartedly to creating something that is going to really create a legacy, a fortunate legacy. So when I say with the World card, there are certain doors and certain chapters that inevitably had to close out because they were not permanent. They were really there for a purpose. They were really there for you to understand that you are limitless and unbreakable, that you really own the attention, and where it goes is entirely your decision, and how you are so much more than this lower octave Taurian expression. Step into ownership wholeheartedly of what you are, and that is a sign of service, workaholic at the best of times, but I refuse to see that as a bad thing. You have been given a craft, and I feel like now is your time to wholeheartedly surrender and sacrifice the drama and really look at where it is that you've been keeping company and how that may have been influencing and affecting your ability to see how truly fortunate you are and your blessings and those opportunities that can come forward to you, Virgo. Now, if you, Judgment card, make a decision, Virgo, to wholeheartedly commit to and stick with what you know to be, bottom of the deck, the Fool card, the new beginning, the release, the opening and the walking through those doors, those chapters, Virgo, that are new and ready and waiting for you to go and explore, where it is that you know that you can surrender the fear, the doubt, and take this courageous Leo energy and apply that courage and this fearlessness to a brand new start, where you get to do things in a way that are ultimately going to, in the bottom of the deck, lead you back to you. By the time, Virgo, the sun moves into your sign, you have successfully closed out certain repetitive cycles. You've learned the lesson. You can move on now. You can literally put down the regurgitated cycle of experiences that this one cycle you just couldn't break. You just couldn't get out of it. And ultimately, it was always you who had to charge forward and focus your thoughts and attention in the direction that you have always wanted to go in. So here is your brand new start, and guess what? It's really, really fortunate because it's focusing on how clean the contents of that heart space is. So literally the doors that have closed, you learn. You learn. It's okay to let them go. It's literally okay to let the suffering go. It's literally okay to let this salt water heal you. It's literally okay to flush it all out now and leave it. And you know what? Sow those seeds. Get off the repetitive cycles. Make that decision to commit to you and allow this new beginning of emotional contentment where the help and the assistance is offered wholeheartedly, because it's you and it's always been you. Turn your light on, and everything that has actively been participating in dimming that light or even exterminating that light, get as far away as you can from that, because your journey through this experience is to know your light. I think that's all I have for you guys. Book a reading, rubyreadstarot.com. There is a love reading that I'm going to put up, and I think this is really just because Venus is moving into the sign of Leo, and I think this is important energy for you because the next sign it moves into is Virgo, and by that time you should have everything externally in place and internally have that light roaring, that fire in the pit of your belly. You should have that roaring by the time your season starts. So let's get you really, really well prepared. Bottom of the Hermit card was the 10 of Wands. So Virgo, hit a home run, drop the burdens, knock it straight out of the park, because you can, and it's time that you knew that you can and owned it. It's not that you didn't know it, you knew it, you just forgot maybe, but no, it's coming back now. Have a really, really good Wednesday and the rest of your week. I will catch you guys again soon.